Welcome back, everyone. This is the VG Pierce. I'll be coming at you with some Season 9 action from the Cabal Vision Champions Cup playoffs. And we are going to be finishing off round 1. And it is going to be the Lizardman team taking on the Vampire team. 2 Wirgins, 1 Chalice. And that is pretty much all the Legendary Edition new races that came out. We couldn't exactly cover the Ogre race because they resigned, and they resigned on turn 6 or 7 or something like that, and I just don't want to showcase one side of the match. And yeah, I mean, maybe later on. Right now, the North American TTS League, somebody is playing some really inspired Ogre Blood Bowl, so we'll see. But for now, we are going to check out Vampires versus the Lizardman team. So in my preliminary prediction, I did say that I liked the Vampire team only because Mr. AndyDavo, he is going to be the one that's directing the Vampires, but I have to say that I'm a little bit suspect on some of the skills here. Very aggressively formed, and we're going to take a look at that real quick. But first, the Lizardman team. ___, coached by Pole. We will be facing off against AndyDavo. 2 Wirgins, 1 Chalice. The Vampire team. And so, the Vampire team, loads of vampires, 4 strength, 4 agility, access to just about everything. And it's just, the problem with vampires, I think, is that they have access to way too many skills, because what ends up happening is, oh gosh, you think to yourself, you need block, oh, I need dodge, oh, I need maybe some mighty blow, or maybe some frenzy, or dodge, or did I say dodge already? But I mean, it's just so many skills that you need to get. But the number one skill that you probably should consider is Pro. And just in case you guys don't know, Pro allows you to reroll 1 die, and it does not go against your team reroll. And that's the really great thing about having Pro. And vampires with that bloodlust, 1 in 6 chance of happening, but still, you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them on the pitch, and they're pretty much slated to go every single round that you activate all of them. Now, of course, in my opinion, conservative play demands that you get Pro for at least half of your vampires before you get any more, but we'll see if this is going to work out for AndyDavo's Vampires team. But first, yes, go ahead and take a look at the skills for both of these teams. And I will be putting away the default skills, but first let's take a look at every skill that they have. And that's another nice thing about the Vampire team. They come with default Hypnotic Gaze, and in case you guys don't know Hypnotic Gaze, as long as they are in base to base with one of the other guys, then they can go and pull off the Hypnotic Gaze and make that opponent drop all of his tackle zones. And that is tremendous, because that will open up holes for you to be able to blitz through. And with them already having inherent 4 strength, 4 agility, you just need a small hole and you can blitz right through that baby. And that is the danger of playing against the Vampire team. Just too much Hypnotic Gaze. Now, for every tackle zone that you're in, it will be a -1 modifier to the roll. So already with that 4 agility, when you are in 1 tackle zone already, then it will be a -1. So 67% chance for that to not go off, or actually to go off. But for every tackle zone, it does add a -1 to the modifier. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and continue on with the skills. +1 in strength, block for that thrall, and then more block here for that thrall over there. This one's got wrestle. And of course, the Vampires +1 in movement allowance and the dodge ability there. And he's also got the blotch here for that Vampire. Blotch with the frenzy here. Tackle block for that thrall. Wrestle 30 player here. Blotch, mighty blow here, and no skills for that Vampire. 3 more thralls to come in. Lizardman team, though, also has his weapons. All the Sorai with that block ability. 2 of them up front with that mighty blow. 2 of them also with the tackle ability. troubling thing, as I've always said about the Lizardman team, no natural person to take that tackle, but it appears that Pole, he's just going to go ahead and take tackle for 2 of the source. And that's a little bit of a danger because you base them up and they've got 1 agility, and so you don't necessarily have to worry too much as long as you base your guys up against them and then they have nobody that can tackle you. Skinks there. This one here with the blodge with sidestep. This one also with the sidestep, but without the block. Does have that inherent dodge and also sidestep here. Does have a loner Sars to come in to the game. And no real bench here except for another skink. So I believe he purchased this loner player. Pole will have a wizard in hand. We'll see if that's going to help out in today's match. But yes, indeed, we are in for a good one. I think that the Lizardman team might have a troublesome time with this vampire team because a bunch of them does have that blodge ability. And of course, as I said just now, with just taking tackle for 2 of his guys and without break tackle or anything, not very easy to get your tackle Saurus where you need them to be to stop the very dangerous blodge vampire. But we'll see what he's going to have up his sleeve. Maybe he's going to do 5+ dodges. I don't know. But it appears the Lizardman team will receive the ball. Both teams going to get an extra reroll, and that will help out the vampire team because nobody with pro on his side. So 5 rerolls now for AndyDavo's Vamps, and that will really help out. Lizardman team, though, is going to start off and get the injuries off, and we'll be able to take down one of the thralls. Not a big deal, except for the fact that when these vampires do bloodlust, they need to bite someone. And oh, there's another thrall there in the front line, and he's going to go down. Another injury back to back here. Are we going to see another one? And that's also a danger here. Thralls, just the armor value 7. I mean, they're just so weak. I think if you were maybe thinking about balancing this, perhaps armor value 8 so that they don't go down so easily to the other team's hits. But right there, the strategy, as I said before the match, I think if I was the Lizardman team, the big strategy that I'd do is take out as many thralls as I can and just keep hitting them, and then the vampires will just bloodlust themselves out of there. Sure, he'll have 4 rerolls, and then he's got an extra reroll because of the kickoff, but still, eventually they will just have to fly away. Those vampires just fly away. Lizardman team doesn't want to let that one go. Opts to reroll the pickup as he moves the skink up forward. Lizardman team just bruising already. Gonna get a couple of big hits off, and it's gonna be the block thrall as well. So unfortunately, you're not gonna use an apothecary on those guys. You're gonna use them on your vampire instead. So a little bit unfortunate. 2 good thralls out. And the rest that are going to be in, well, they're going to be a little bit skillless. Alright, so let's go ahead and take away the default skills, shall we? As we are going to be underway, round 1 coming towards an end, and there's a bloodlust right there. So that's what I'm saying, guys. They bloodlust a little bit too many times, and then suddenly they have to bite someone. And unfortunately, right now, they bloodlust at the end of the action and not at the forefront. You have to do the next action and then they bloodlust. So a little bit buggy right now, but not a big deal. Prince of Tail, make it 3+, and then a hypnotic gaze there, and there you go, 3+ on that, 67% chance. Does hypnotic gaze him, and that's about it for the time being. Just, I guess, want to make him drop his tackle zones, but not a big deal for the Lizardman team. Nothing really happened there. KO on the vampire. Big hits for the big SARS up front, and these guys do have the tackle ability, and boy, I was kind of making fun of this in the beginning, but now it's like, hey, the tackle SARS working out, and they do have that mighty blow, so can get the hits off on these vampires, and even this guy right there who's got the dodge ability. Yes, they all are going to be in trouble in the next bit. Skinks are just going to move up and cage up for the time being. No real danger at the moment, but Man, so far, so good. Lizardman team doing what they need to at this point. Getting the injuries off on the thralls and also getting the hits off on the vampires with their tackle, mighty blow people, and get to the back and get them out. And there we go. The vampire will move in and try to hypnotic gaze in there to try to make it to where he will have a much easier time jumping through. But for right now, it looks like no. He's not going to get the hypnotic gaze. 4+ on there, and then going to go ahead and dodge through. Actually, he's going to get that re-roll off for it and get the go full rolls as well. Hypnotic gaze, and there you go. He's going to open up the side, and he should get a blitz here onto that skink. Will be a good time for him. Yes, a defender stumbles, but oh, we'll see if this is going to be creating any madness here. It is going to be the tackle thrall as well. We'll be able to take him down with that defender stumbles. And the ball is going to be out. Vampires now have a small glimmer. But we'll see though. He's going to have to jump through some awful tackle zones, I think. Here we go. Just some 2+ there. And then he's going to dodge around again. Yes, 2+. He's going to get through. And another 2+. And he will be able to mark the ball up. He thought about it for a moment, I'm sure. He was thinking, oh, I want to get that ball. But at the last moment was like, you know, I'm going to hypnotic gaze the skink, and that will be it. The skink though just needs to activate to get out of that, so I'm not exactly sure why the hypnotic gazes are going off right here, but at the end, so I'm a little bit curious why there's more hypnotic gazes than kind of necessary, because he's making these hypnotic gazes and then passing the turn. So I guess kind of maybe was just doing it for funsies, but we'll see. And all you have to do is activate them, and that's all you needed to do, and they'll get out of the hypnotic gaze. I guess it's one of those things where the other team, they don't know what hypnotic gaze does, then they may not activate them back, they may not reactivate them, and then they continue to stay hypnotic gazed, and ooh, gonna hit the ball, and the vampire's gonna end up with it. And so, time. Lizardman team, he's just about engaged all of his players, and so all he can do at this point is just surround up this vampire. Vampires now have a shot at getting to the back of the end zone on the Lizardman team's possession half. Oh, we'll see if he's going to be able to make it through. And heck, even if he doesn't, that's okay. He can actually maybe blitz through or something like that, or get the handoff or something. Maybe get the throw to somebody that's wide open. But no, it looks like he's going to go and blitz out the SARS, get a push combination, and get this through here. But is this going to be enough? 2 red die block. Ooh, it's going to get pay dirt on that and get a little bit lucked out, and the 2 red die block goes through. Just needed a push. He gets the defender stumbles instead. Also gets the KO, and the apothecary is going to get blown right there on it. And the vampires, they're going to go ahead and score it 1-0. 2 Wirgins, 1 Chalice, and my prediction looking pretty good so far. 1-0. Vampires scoring it. But have they paid a little too much in price? 2 thralls down due to those injuries. Could be one too many. Don't forget though, Lizardman team does have a wizard in hand. So this could be all for naught, but we'll see about that though. Hey, if I was the vampire team, I would take this right now. But he does have to empty his bench to come in. Oh, look at that. Vampire and the Thrall is going to continue to stay KO'd. Will empty the bench because of it. But 2 of the Thralls still also continues to stay out for the rest of the match. Vampires again is going to kick it. Looks like very short and to the right. Perfect defense. And that's going to be great. Ball is actually going to be right there. And so, what will it be, ladies and gentlemen? You really want to put your guys up in the front lines in case if the ball maybe just scatters one space to the left or right. Suddenly it becomes extremely uncomfortable to pick that ball up against 2 tackle zones of the vampire team. So we'll see. Oh, but the scatter goes in, so he's going to touch back. A little bit unfortunate there, but at least had a small chance. But here is the danger right there. Anytime you kick the ball out of bounds against the Lizardman team, well, they're going to do this. They're going to give it to the SARS, and this isn't as bad as it seems because even though he's got 1 agility and could get tied up, don't forget handoffs depend on the agility of whoever he's handing off to. So worst come to worst, Sars gets a little bit stuck, and then he just hands it off to a nearby skink. That doesn't mean a skink is going to have to trail him at all times, just in case he needs to do the handoff maneuver. But still, that's not too shabby, I think. And Sars, he's got it. He's got the block. He's got the force strength as well. So not going to be as easy as it was the previous time when the vampires actually had that blitz with the tackle and also the block thrall right there. So it all kind of hinges on now if he's going to be able to stop this Sars from making it up the pitch. But I think the damage already kind of done already. Vampires just kind of needs to hold serve here on defense and maybe go up 1-0. But if anything, go into the half 1-1, and that will be good enough, I think. Will be Vampires' second half possession. So we'll have a moment, and look at this nice blitz here. Crosscore is going to take him down and also going to get a thrall or two out of harm's way. And that's the Vampires. Bloodlust still looking okay. We'll do the vampiric hypnotic gaze, and I'm a little bit uncertain why he keeps doing that, but maybe there's a new thing on there that I just don't know. Let's see here. Hypnotic gaze. Pass the ball. Assist another play on the block and foul. Hypnotic gaze. Well, he hypnotic gazes him and then he hits him. There's no real need to do that because he's already got the force strength, and then the assist, right, gives him enough for the 2-die block. So there's no real need to hypnotic gaze there except for kind of funsies. There's the block and the blitz. We'll take that vampire down, trying to get him down. Mighty blow with tackle. Not going to hit anything here. And he's going to stay on the pitch for the time being. Lizardman team, still plenty of time to score. And the Vampires, it's hard to get a coordinated defense going because at any moment bloodlust is going to happen, and then you're going to be in a little bit of trouble if just one too many comes off in the same round. Luckily though, again, had the extra reroll due to the kickoff, and so 4 rerolls left, and so Vampires can take a reroll per turn, and that's okay. Skinks though, he can come in, get the foul off, and continue to murder some of these Vampires. So far just KOing them at this time. No foul being called, and so one less Vampire to worry about. Thrall with the tackle. He's going to re-roll it offensively. As I said before, he can re-roll just about every single turn, but man, that started off at the beginning of the turn, and so if the Thrall does bloodlust, very risky to do that. Actually, I'm a bit surprised that he re-rolled that. Should have probably just let that one go, because at the top of the turn, Vampires, you really have to play very smart and very conservative and safe, because if you don't, then it could end up very badly. And right there, the hypnotic gaze used properly at that point is going to go ahead and take away the tackle zones with the Crocs, and then made it to where this assist is coming from the Thrall, and now the Vampire does have the assist necessary to take him down with a 2-die block. So there we go. Very nicely played here. Vampires using all of their skills to great effect. Not going to get tied up for too long. Vampires is going to continue to get hit by the mighty blow with tackle Sars, but besides a couple of KOs, it's going to be alright with this. Turn 6 now, and the Lizardman team needs to hurry up and get his Sars that has the ball a little bit more up the pitch. Thankfully, it does have 6 movement allowance, so still in range-ish, but I would like not doing any go-for rolls if possible. I'll tell you what. But it appears that the Sars, he's just going to say, you know what, I will take this. And the Crocs will get the hits off and get the both down die for both of these warriors. And we'll get the stun off on that Vampire. So pretty nicely played here. And the Vampire with +1 in movement allowance is going to stay down for the next couple of turns here. And we'll see if the Sars will be able to take advantage. Maybe go through on to the right side. And now that it's a little bit more weak because of it, we'll see. Vampires are going to drift back though, not going to allow too much more out of it. He doesn't exactly know which way they're going. And as I said before, he can't just hand it off to the skink. There's the 3+ on there, and the skink can be going off to the races because of it. 8 movement allowance on those skinks, and so definitely can make it down without doing those go full rolls. But I think ideally you want to just go ahead and get the touchdown with the SARS if possible, so then you get more skills on them. Vampires will get hits in and touch up the ball carrier for the time being. But at this point, brain hit there. Perfect timing for that. And the SARS, I think at this point, will have to get the handoff. And that's probably what this blitz is opening up here. Get the blitz off here. We'll get the KO, and that's going to be great. But he should be able to free up the skink now to get handed off to. And we'll open up a small little area there. If you can get this guy down, and just gonna get a push, but still should be able to get maybe something more out of it. Should be able to get a hold up the middle maybe. He's gonna have to do something pretty soon though, because if he doesn't, this could be all but over. And gonna get a push, so he's gonna be able to get something here along the right side, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to get an escort. Will he be able to get an escort? I don't even think so. And with that final push there, that kind of leaves me wondering what he's going to do. Well, it looks like Skink's going to go ahead and lead out in front, and he's going to follow up with the SARS, keep it in hand of the SARS, and he needs to get in range. Go for it, roll there, and he's going to have to do another one there. There we go. So now I believe he's just out of range. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's just out of range. So actually at this point, he just needs to make sure that these 2 skinks are going to get blitzed down. There you go. AndyDavo's vampire seat. Not going to waste any time. Going to get the blitz in. We'll get the both down dive. We'll get the entry on top of that. And then at this point, just to survive this skink, or just surround this skink, and just maybe touch up this SARS to make sure that anything that could happen won't happen. But the 2-die block will mean that the skink will go down. So SARS, he's just out of range now. And the thrall, I love it. I love the optimism here. And there we go. He's going to touch him up, and he's going to keep a thrall right there. And if the Lizard team tries a little bit too much for this touchdown try, then the ball could go the other way, and Andy might actually have a chance to make it 2-0 on the Lizardman team's half. So we'll see now. Full roll failed, but Vampires loads of rerolls, so why not just spend them? Too bad you can't spend more than 1 team reroll per half. Otherwise, we do it, baby. He's just a tad out of range, just a tad. So too bad there's no throw teammate for a Croxicle or anything like that. That would be awesome, but then it would be kind of hacks at the same time. Let's see if the Lizardman team's going to attempt. I don't think there's going to be any real attempts here. I don't even see a push combination or anything. I don't think I see that. Maybe, I mean, maybe if any to get the Vampires, get the hits, and then get the push combo, but no, it looks like nothing. If anything, at this point, I would just go and touch up the thralls just in case. He's going to have to do the blitz through right there. And it's just going to be a push, but not a big deal. I believe the Lizardman team will just cover up the ball, seeing that there's 2 thralls now in range for the touchdown. Don't want to allow the Vampire team from sneaking the ball away some way, somehow. Ooh, there's a foul here, and we'll hit pay dirt. And so Apothecary, yeah, should be used, and it will be used, and will be okay because of it. Vampires will get the blitz off. 2 red die block. But he's got Wrestle. And does have a reroll, but not going to get anything more out of it. A pretty safe play right there. And if he would have got that ball out and would have had a good spot for the pickup, then that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, Skulls on the red dice. And we are at the half. 1-0. But the Vampires half is coming up. So all the Vampires need to do now is just grind it out. Can it be done? Well, finally, KO'd Warriors do come back. And with that, should have a full complement. Yes, he does. And it will be all the thralls that are going to come in. That's why you have a deep bench. That's why you get extra thralls if you're the vampire team. So far, so good. Not too much bloodlust coming out for the vampire team. And because of that, they are up 1-0 and does have a real shot at winning this ball game now. Hell, he could just score it in about 6 turns, maybe 7 turns. He doesn't even need to wait till 16 turns because once he's up 2-0, then it's almost... Well, I wouldn't say almost, but it would be very difficult for the Lizardman team to win. They can make 2-turn touchdowns quite easily, though, so... And there is no security gate to prevent the riot. That's the thing there. The biggest story has to be very little bloodlust I've seen. I believe at this point only one vampire has bitten a thrall, and that's it. And Riot on the pitch now will actually help out the vampire team. Just needs to hold it for one last turn. That's perfect. So 7 more turns and the vampire will take the dubs. Holy crap, could it be the vampire team, tier 2.5 team, making it through to the next round? Maybe? We'll see about that. Oh man, what a dream that would be if we can get the vampires on to the next match. And so far, I am 9 picks correct and 6 incorrect. So far so good. And there's a bloodlust right there, unfortunately. But not a big deal, but it did get a thrall. And also, it will produce another big injury here. So now the vampire team is going to be down 1 for the rest of the match. But with him up 1-0 and has the offensive half. Ooh, there's another bloodlust right there. And so there's going to be yet another thrall going out. Not going to use a reroll there. Just going to get the ball pick up, and then a thrall is nicely positioned, and he will get another bite. But this time, thankfully, just a stun, and so perfectly done. We'll get the pass here and move up the pitch. Vampire looks like they're not going to waste any time. Just going to go ahead and move up and get the 2-0 straight away and play some fantabulous defense as he's done in the first half. I think feeling pretty confident after that first half about it. Does all of the go for it rolls and does make it all. Only the skinks, and the skinks now can help him now, and go for it roll will fail it, but luckily he has not used the reroll for any of the bloodlust, so go ahead and use it there, and he will be able to get a nice screen over the top of the skinks to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for them to dodge through. And now how are they going to stop this? Ah, that's how. A wizard. Don't forget about the wizard in hand, but unfortunately just going to knock the vampire down, and with screens up everywhere, skinks aren't going to have an easy time getting to the backfield, so definitely needs to get a follow-up. You just can't temporarily stop the ball right there. I mean, that's just a temporary stop. Oh, that's a big one here. Nice injury. At least that'll help out in the long run. But this game might be all but over if the vampires get that score in. Might be too early to score, but at the same time, maybe not. Oh man, all I see is vampires picking up the ball. Vampire moving to the end zone, picking it up with a vampire, and then hucking it for a 3+ pass. GG. See you later. Goodbye. Skinks will move up. Sidestepper is going to go up in the front line, and he will go through 1 tackle zone. Luckily, he's got stunty, so just a 3+ on there, and he will be able to touch up the ball, and will make it a little bit more uncomfortable. Luckily, though, it's going to be the tackle thrall right there, so should be able to take him down, hopefully, with the 2-die block, and immediately doesn't waste any time. Defender down die. That is perfect. We'll go into the ball, though. And the scatter. Oh, that's a terrible spot for the vampire team. A horrendous spot. It's not it's not out of the question. He can definitely do it, but boy, against 2 tackle zones, he still didn't use the blitz yet. And there's another bloodlust. Oh boy, first half barely any bloodlust, but now here they come. Vampire will be picking it up against 2 tackle zones. Get the 4+ and also the 2+ dodge. He failed the dodge, but he's got the reroll, so he's going to move the ball back for the time being. And here is going to be another pass against yet another tackle zone. He's already hypnotic gazed the Croc, so that's going to be out of the question. And here goes a handoff, and he's going to fail to catch. Ooh, will he get 1 and 9 here? He really wants to get this touchdown, and he doesn't get it there. He's going to get 1 and 9. I know. I know. All in the first half, I was saying, boy, he's kind of getting lucky here. No bloodlust, and only suffered from 1 in the first half. But here, he has gotten, what, 5, 6 already, and we're just at round 11. I cannot believe that. Whole bunch of 1s coming out, and unfortunately, more 1s and 2s coming out. Won't get the handoff, doesn't get the throw out the ball, and he won't be able to get the touchdown. Lizardman team in full control, but as long as the Lizardman team scores it and doesn't injure too many of the Vampire team might actually go ahead and try to score it once again very quickly. -1 in movement loss, but regeneration will save the Vampire. And that is another nice thing about the Vampire team. It does have that regeneration, so they will come back in. They will come back in, and he will. But will it be enough? Lizardman team looking okay-ish. It's going to be pretty difficult now for this Vampire team to get there, but with loads of hypnotic gaze, he just needs to get the Vampires in there. Hypnotic gaze, maybe 1 or 2 guys, hell, maybe all 4 of them, and then get the Thrall to get the pickup. More pickup fails here, and it will be against the tackle zone, and that is great. The ball is going to land in a pretty good spot now. Ooh, Vampire team, good luck out. -3, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he can't score it with the Vampire, but the Thrall, well, he just needs to make a dodge and then picks it up with the Vampire and then makes a, what, a 2+ throw from there, actually. Yeah, that's it. So he can just do the 3+ dodge, and then after that, pick it up here, 2+, and then a 2+ throw into a 3+ catch again. So all this stuff, not too bad. Instead, though, he's going to do the 1 dive block and try to pry off a couple of guys. Maybe if he would have got him down, that would have been perfect. But unfortunately, not going to get it here. Will get the dodge away, and he will be able to move him into the touchdown area. So the Vampire, well, he doesn't need to do a dodge any longer. So he will do the 2+ pickup into a 2+ throw. And will it be a 3+ catch? Oh, no, he needs to do 1 more go for roll to make sure that it's a 2+ throw. So not wanting to do a 3+, he does do the go for roll. So this is a 2+ pass into a 3+ catch. Touchdown, finally. He does hit pay dirt. 2-0. 2 Wirgins, 1 Chalice. Oh, they're up 2-0. This is nigh unstoppable. Vampire team looking to move on to the next round. The Lizardman team needs to score very quickly, but will it be enough? 5 more turns left to play. Lizardman team, we're going to see some quick scores now. Lizardman team, though, can do it. As I said before, 8 movement allowance for the Skinks. So they could definitely move it up the pitch and score it. And quite honestly, if he gets a blitz or something like that in the next bit, or perhaps more, like maybe perfect defense, Vampires can't keep holding the ball. He's starting to be down in numbers. He's down, what, a couple of Thralls here. So it's 9 Vampires against a full complement. Yes, this is the only Lizards versus the only Vampires in this tournament. High kick. And that's going to be great. Just going to get the feel of the ball, and the Skink should just move up the pitch, hand it off, and then move it down the pitch again. The Skinks. Vampires only has 9 people here, so can only just wait and see where the Lizardman team wants to take the ball. Probably down the right side, because he looks like he's got the formation for it. So going to get the handoff perhaps to the Skink, and then get the 2-turn score. And then after that, hope for a blitz. Hope for the Vampires to get more bloodlusts in. All the meanwhile, trying to get some more Vampires down. It's not out of hand, but at this point, if you ask me which side I want to be on, the Vampires all the way. Already going to be putting up the screen, but will it be enough? Vampires, like I said, does have hypnotic gaze, and so this is not extremely safe for them. Should be able to get a whole bunch of guys here. Got a huge screen now. Skinks are going to move up. And again, 8 movement allowance. Should be able to get right in the heart. Right there. Look, doesn't even need the handoff. And we'll do the go for a roll, so he's in range. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one more go for a roll, and that's all he needs. That'll be it. So Vampire's gonna have to try to go through the screen right there, but if anything, just needs to stall up this touchdown somehow, some way. Perhaps maybe get a blitz here against the Skink, and then perhaps a Hypnotic Gaze on this SARS. Then just get a net up against his cage, slow him down as much as possible, make it as extremely uncomfortable as possible. There we go. We'll get down the Crocs. We'll get down the Skink in the backfield. We'll be able to get him down, in fact. And then after that, she'll be able to get in front. There we go. We'll be good. One Thrall over there. Not gonna get too fancy with it, but will he be able to get the Vampire? Yes, he's gonna get one Vampire in at the least, but did spend a moment here with that other Vampire to take down this Croc, so won't have a huge net up. Go full roll. It's gonna fail it there. Not gonna use the reroll there, and the Vampire team just down to one reroll, so has to somehow live after that pretty much disastrous beginning of the second half. But is it really that disastrous when you're up 2-0? I guess not. Worth it, baby, but is it enough? Is it enough? Lizardman team will take that KO, and that's going to be perfect. Gets the tackle and the block player. That was the one that was pretty much single-handedly taking out the Skinks one by one. And he just needs to make it through and get this touchdown. I don't know if he wants to do the dodge. I think I'd do the dodge. Only 1 in 9 chance to fail it. Or do you want to do 2 go for it rolls where it is 2 1 in 6 chances of failing? Hey, that's where math comes into play. That's where math comes into play. Looks like the Lizardman team, he's going to put some Skinks over there. He will do the 2 go for it rolls. There's the first one, and will he get the second one? No, he won't. But he does have to reroll here. No, he doesn't have to reroll anymore. That's right. Oh my gosh, he actually used the reroll earlier, and now he won't be able to get that go full roll, and he's gonna drop the ball. Perfect. Vampire team is loving that, and just needs to mark this ball up. Hypnotic Gaze. It's gonna fail there. Oh, unfortunately, wanted to make it to where he didn't have to make any dodges. Bloodlust yet again. Luckily though, Thrall is right there, and he's gonna get bitten for it. And he will get bitten for it. And it's gonna be the +1 in strength and the block Thrall as well. So here we go. We'll get a Hypnotic Gaze off. There we go. And now it's gonna free ball. And he is going to fail the dodge. So he's gonna re-roll it there. Last re-roll coming. And he needs to get through. Yes, he does here. And he will be able to get the ball perfectly done. Will it be enough here? Vampire's doing everything he can to keep the W in hand. Just 3 more turns left. Lizardman team has to score. Regeneration coming through perfect. And so far so good for the Vampire team. Will it be? Will it be enough? Turn 14. Lizardman team needs to stop the Vampires at this point and can't let them go away. So 1 blitz. And 1 blitz only. And perhaps a block as well, because he can just reactivate this from the Hypnotic Gaze. But he's a 2-strain Skink on a 4-strain Vampire. And it's a blodge as well. And as I said before, the tackle guys, they are a little bit away here. This one had to just stand up, so can't use him. The other tackle guys away, so needs to depend on a 30% chance. And with the reroll, that's about a 51% chance to get this right here. Defenders of those, that's not good enough. Oh, gets the defender down. Just in the nick of time. Just. And the ball goes into the end zone. Skink now just needs to pick this ball up, but no rerolls. Gets it. 3+ on that pickup. And does get the score there, but turn 16 is already used up. Only 2 more turns left and the Vampires receive the ball. So unless the Vampires just absolutely implodes, then it should be okay. Should be okay. Hey? Oh man, I think the only thing that could possibly save the Lizardman team now is a blitz on the kickoff here, because Vampires, they only have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys left on the pitch. There's no way they can stop the Lizard onslaught if there's a blitz. Now if there's no blitz, Vampires could just hold the ball here. It'll take 2 turns to get to the backfield. Vampires just need to just get to the ball and hold on to it back here and just make sure that the Lizardman team doesn't get to it. And we'll take 2 turns to get there, in fact. So a bit unfortunate, I think, but we'll see though. We'll see. But it is 2-1, and at this point, I think if it were me, yeah, look at that Lizardman team's gonna put all the stars up front, just saying F it. But I think if it was me, maybe put a couple of vampires right there, hypnotic gaze this guy there, fly off on the right side with my vampire, and then maybe throw it to him so that the ball's on this side of the pitch, and it will make it very difficult here to stop a Blodge vampire along the right side where the tackle Sars isn't there. Throw rock! Aurelius! He's gonna go down to an injury. Just gonna be a stun, but who cares about that vampire? Ball is gonna be okay. No craziness on the kickoff, so the Vampires looking good. Just needs to screen off the ball. Just need to play a little bit defensive here. Dodge away in the front line. There we go. He's gonna get away. No tackles here that he needs to avoid, so just needs to avoid any 1 in 36s. Who's gonna fail the bloodlust? And unfortunately, oh boy, he's gonna have to bite one of the thralls, and he's gonna have to instead use the vampire to have the defensive posture that he needs, because he's gonna have to fight this vampire. So there we go. Now this vampire is gonna come in, and there's another bloodlust right there, and that's what I'm talking about. He's gonna have to stand right next to the other thrall, otherwise he's gonna fly away. And there we go. We'll get the bite off, and ooh, luckily though, he's gonna choose the thrall that's already down. So oh man, I almost forgot about that. You can't bite the other thrall even if he's down right there. So nicely played, but unfortunately, because the vampire had to stay right next to the thralls, the Lizardman team does have a small glimmer of actually getting to the ball. Just a close one here, but close enough. He's gonna have to take the risk, I think. Gonna get to the backfield. He's gonna have to get a skink back there, I think. He's gonna blitz through though. He's gonna blitz the vampire. We'll get him down. Yes, he will, because he's got tackle. And a KO. Perfect. Now just a couple of vampires left, and oh man, this is the danger here. Too many bloodlusts back to back, and in fact that last bloodlust was quite possibly the worst moment, because he had to stand right there. Otherwise, he probably would just pick this ball up and then move back a little bit, and he would still have his options. But now he's going to have to do something a little bit crazy now if he wants to continue to hold the ball and maybe do something with it. Maybe throw it to his thrall. I don't know. And if any more bloodlusts come out, then God forbid. There's the fender stumbles. And it will just be a sidestep. No tackle there on that vampire. He's going to move away. So now he's going to have to blitz through. Another push here. And he's going to push on through and dodge away. But that means he can't throw the ball or anything. So at this point, the vampire just simply has to stand there. Oh, unfortunate. There's no real safe place. So what's the difference? Might as well just stay there. Oh, man. The sidestep, skink, the tackle, blitz, and he does get him down. He will be able to injure him. On top of that, now he just needs to pick this ball up. Turn 16, no rerolls, a 3+ pickup. Regeneration doing the work, and the ball is going to land in a great spot. Just needs to get a 3+. I've always said, skinks, they are going to be unreliable at best. Gets the pickup, and he gets the touchdown. Just there, 2-2. Just barely getting there, 2-2. Poll says we're not through yet, Vamps. Now in overtime period, if the Vampires, even if they get the coin toss, they are down to what, 4 or 5 people left, and that right there, my friends, is the danger. Bloodlust after bloodlust after bloodlust. And quite honestly, if it wasn't even for that, then it would easily be the Vampires' game at this point. But We are where we're at because of all the bloodlust. So tremendous. Here's the coin toss. Who's it gonna be? And it appears to be... Oh, it is gonna be... Well, who's fixing up? Vampires are fixing up. Lizardman team wins the coin toss. There we go. Underscores chooses to receive. And now, with just, what, 7 guys left on the pitch, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys left on the pitch. The KO personnel not coming back onto the pitch. No more KO bugs. And at this point, Lizardman team can pretty much have their way. Oh, what a great match. Vampires up 2-0, but Bloodlust, the BL, just led to too much BS. Vampires, my friends, that's why they're tier 2.5, had the game in their hands. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's not looking good either. I'll tell you what. Oh no. And my pick is looking so bad now. Change of weather to nothingness, so no rerolls for either side, and that's really unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. Lizardman team now just needs to get this ball up and turn it the other way. Get some more hits on. Should be even surrounding up the vampire team. Luckily though, 4 vampires left in the way, but is that really lucky when there's so much bloodlusting happening? But 1 injury, 2 injuries, and no more regeneration passes for you. Lizardman team actually doing a lot of armor value breaks. Started off with 2 big injuries on the thralls, and in the end, armor value 7. Just too weak for those thralls, not being able to deal with so many injuries, so many bloodlust second half. Oh man. And that team's gonna just hit some more defender down die, and that's all he could do there. And as I said before, if you play the vampire team, I think the best way to do it is you start off with 2 vampires, you get the first skill, you get the pro for your vampires, and then after that, for each pro that you get another vampire. And that's really the conservative approach, but still, I mean, that I think is the best way. So that you can avoid what you see here. The vampires had the game here, but too many bloodlusts. And you gotta have pro. You got to. At least on half of the vampires. At least, if not all of the vampires should have pro. Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just one of those things, right? Vampires they just have so much access to everything except for passing of skills. But I mean, you got access to general, you got access to strength, you got access to agility. So it's like you're a kid in the candy store. What are you gonna get? Ooh, you need to get black. Okay, we'll get black. Ooh, we should get dodge now, cause you know, blodge. And then, oh, we need to get like mighty blows so that we get more SPP now, because now we suddenly need a whole bunch of SPP to get to the 4th level, 5th level, right? So it's just the normal things, and then pro just ends up on the wayside. I understand completely, but it's just one of those things where now you see pro. Too good. Too good. Oh yes. Lizardman team now again needs to pick this ball up. I mean, if he doesn't pick this ball up, I have seen Skinks not pick that ball up like what, 5 straight times, to where the other team casually just comes up from behind and says, well, if you're not gonna pick up the ball, well, I will, and then scores it. Oh, there's a KO there. Just another knife in the heart, if the vampires even have a heart. Just don't look in the mirror, guys. He will pick it up with the skink, finally, and then after this point, just needs to walk it in for the touchdown. Loads of turns to do so. Vampires and thralls left. 2 more vampires, 5 more thralls, 4 more thralls left. So at this point, This is another 2-to-1 ratio you kind of need to have as well. So for each vampire that you have on the pitch, you also need to have double the vampire. I mean, double the thralls. So if you have one vampire out, then you need at least 2, if not 3. So that when you do Bloodlust, then you'll be able to be okay with it. And that's kind of what happened at the end of the second half there, where there was just way too many vampires up and not enough thralls to go around for all of the Bloodlusts. Sidestep and skink, so that's going to be safe. Vampires now, he's going to have to do something crazy now at this point. He needs to, and the thing about it too is you can't just hypnotic gaze the ball carrier because it makes you drop the tackle zones, but it doesn't make you drop the ball. Gotta stop playing, stop rolling ones. That's all you have to do. Just don't roll ones, right? Well, in Blood Bowl, that's just a little bit of an ask. That's a little bit too much. Don't you guys go away. More Blood Bowl action. Round 2 action coming up in the next few. It's my birthday week, and so I'm a little bit detained at the moment. So I will do as many games as I possibly can tonight, and then over the weekend you're not gonna see me at all. Actually, I won't even be back till Monday. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to catch up with all of the games by beginning of next week. So if you guys don't see me for a bit, it's because I'm having a raucous weekend. And when I say raucous, it's gonna be board game Saturday, and then going to a concert, classical concert, playing John Williams music. Oh yes, Lizardman team. Just got there. If he failed any of those rolls, if he got nuffled even just a half a moment there at the end of the second half, vampires would be moving on. 3-die block. Armor value 7. That's gonna be holding up. And with all of the vampires laying on their backs, this is absolutely GG. Nobody can pick it. Nobody can get there at this point. Pass up turns, and the Lizardman team will score it. Wow. Bloodlust. 3-2. The Lizardman team takes the win after staring into the jaws of defeat. Pulls it out and will move on. Again, statistics wise, so many injuries for the Lizardman team on top of all the Bloodlust. I mean, you gotta look at it here. You got to, and I think the Bloodlust is okay. So only 7 Bloodlust fails, and it seemed a whole lot more, but it all just came at the same time, did it not? And unfortunately, it did, and it costed way too much, just way too much, the entire game, in fact. So with that, thanks for joining me here. We're going to continue on our coverage, round 2, as we see loads of gentlemen going to be playing their games. Look at that vampire team, almost won it there, but Lizardman moving on. And I have already chosen Big Papa's in the house, the Nurgle team, to take the W. Let's see here, and yes, it is going to be continuing to stay that way, and that's going to be great. We are going to see a couple of more matches. We're going to see Norse versus Chaos team, and we're going to see Khemri versus Dwarf in the next bit. And we're going to do that, and we're going to have a couple of more matches here. We might have a resignation as well. I believe Lucky Luck Luke, and in the Champions Cup, if anyone resigns from it the very next season, if you do somehow make it to the next season, you cannot make it to the playoffs because you cannot concede. According to the Blood Bowl rules, you cannot concede at all in the Champions Cup, or you will forfeit the next season. I guess it's just as well, you know, if you want to take a break. But still, the admins, we remember. We remember. Don't you guys go away. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back in just a moment. That's right, Braumeister.